Captain Zara Chen squinted at the swirling anomaly on her ship's view screen, a kaleidoscope of colors that shouldn't exist in the cold vacuum of space. The _Stellar Horizon _ Earth's most advanced deep space exploration vessel, had stumbled upon the phenomenon at the edge of charted space. Dr. Reeves, any theories on what we're looking at? Zara asked, her voice steady despite the growing unease in her gut. The ship's chief scientist, a lanky man with perpetually tousled grey hair, frowned at his instruments. It's unlike anything in our databanks, Captain. The energy readings are off the charts. It could be a wormhole, a spatial rift, or something entirely new to physics. Zara nodded, her mind racing through protocols and possibilities. Helm, maintain a safe distance. We'll launch probes tow. Her orders were cut short as the ship lurched violently. Warning klaxons blared throughout the bridge. We're caught in some kind of gravitational pull, the helmsman shouted, fingers flying over his console. Full reverse thrusters, Zara commanded, gripping her chair as the ship shuddered around her. The _Stellar Horizon _ groaned under the strain, but the anomaly's pull was relentless. Zara watched in horror as cracks began to spiderweb across the reinforced view screen. All hands, brace for impact, she yelled into the ship-wide comm. Prepare for emergency protocols. The last thing Zara saw before losing consciousness was a blinding flash of light as the anomaly engulfed them. Zara awoke to the taste of copper in her mouth and the sensation of soft grass beneath her fingers. She blinked, struggling to focus as an alien sky swirled above her, a tapestry of purples and greens that pulsed with ethereal light. What the hell, she muttered, pushing herself up on shaky arms. The first alien turned back to Zara, its expression unreadable. Captain, Zara Chen of Earth, you have been chosen to participate in a ritual older than the stars themselves. The fate of 2 worlds now rests upon your shoulders. Zara's mind whirled with questions and protests, but years of command had taught her to adapt quickly to unexpected situations. She straightened her back, ignoring the aches from the crash, and met the alien's gaze. I don't fully understand what's happening, she said firmly, but I accept your challenge. My first priority is the safety of my crew. If participating in your ritual will help me achieve that, then so be it. A ripple of what might have been approval passed through the gathered aliens. The first one who had spoken to her stepped closer, offering a small crystalline object that pulsed with inner light. Take this luminous seed, it said. It will guide you through the trials and attune you to our world. The first challenge begins at dawn. Rest now, for the path ahead is fraught with dangers beyond your imagining. As Zara hesitantly accepted the crystal, a wave of sensation washed over her. The alien world around her seemed to shift, becoming somehow more vivid, more _real_. She could feel the pulse of life in the strange plants, sense the intricate web of energy that connected everything around her. I am Elevoran the alien said, and I will be your guide through the astral courtship. May the light of Luminaria shine upon your path, Captain Zara Chen *. With that, the aliens began to disperse, leaving Zara alone in the glowing meadow. She looked down at the luminous seed in her hand, then up at the alien sky, where unfamiliar constellations twinkled amidst the swirling colors. Well, she muttered to herself, a wry smile tugging at her lips despite the gravity of the situation. I wanted to make first contact. Be careful what you wish for, Zara. As the strange sun of Luminaria began to set, casting the landscape in an ethereal twilight, Captain Zara Chen settled in for a long night. Tomorrow, she would face the first of the alien trials, carrying the hopes of her lost crew and the weight of an interstellar misunderstanding on her shoulders. The astral courtship had begun, and the fate of 2 worlds hung in the balance. The alien sun of Luminaria rose, bathing the landscape in a soft, pearlescent glow. Captain Zara Chen stood at the edge of a crystalline structure that seemed to have grown organically from the ground overnight. The luminous seed pulsed gently in her hand, resonating with the strange energies that permeated this world. Illumination approached, its opalescent skin shimmering in the morning light. The first trial awaits, Sky-Fallen One. Are you prepared? Zara nodded, her jaw set with determination. As ready as I'll ever be. But before we begin, I need to know, what happened to my crew? The alien's multifaceted eyes seemed to soften. Your fellow sky travelers are safe, Captain. They have been taken to the Healing Groves to recover from the journey. Their fate, like that of our two peoples, now depends on your success in the astral courtship. Zara felt a weight lift from her shoulders, quickly replaced by the burden of responsibility. Then let's get started. What's the first trial? Illumination gestured towards the crystal structure. The trial of harmony. You must navigate the resonance labyrinth, attuning yourself to the rhythms of Luminaria. But be warned, a misstep could prove dissonant. As they approached the entrance, Zara noticed intricate patterns etched into the crystal walls, pulsing with an inner light that seemed to follow a complex, ever-changing rhythm. She took a deep breath and stepped inside. The moment Zara entered the labyrinth, the world around her transformed. The crystal walls became translucent, revealing glimpses of alien landscapes and star systems she'd never seen before. Each step she took sent ripples of light and sound cascading through the structure. Zara quickly realized that the path through the labyrinth wasn't fixed. The walls shifted and realigned themselves based on the harmony, or discord, of her movements. She closed her eyes, letting the pulsing of the luminous seed guide her. Years of zero training and spacewalks had honed her body awareness, and she found herself instinctively moving in sync with the labyrinth's ethereal music. As she progressed deeper, the challenges grew more complex. Gravity shifted unpredictably, forcing Zara to adapt her movements on the fly. At times, she found herself walking on walls or floating through open spaces, always following the resonance that connected her to this alien world. From outside the labyrinth, the assembled Luminarians watched in awe. Illumination's eyes widened as Zara navigated a particularly difficult section with unexpected grace. Remarkable, it murmured. The off-worlder moves as if born to the rhythms of Luminaria. Zorax, the imposing blue giant, grunted in grudging acknowledgement. She shows promise, but the true tests are yet to come. Do not forget, Illumination, what is at stake here. Inside the labyrinth, Zara faced her final challenge. The path before her dissolved into a swirling vortex of light and sound. Without hesitation, she leaped into the chaos, letting the luminous seed guide her movements. She twisted and turned, her body becoming one with the energy around her. With a final, resounding chord, Zara emerged from the resonance labyrinth. She stumbled slightly, disoriented by the return to normal gravity, but quickly regained her composure. The assembled Luminarians erupted in a chorus of melodic trills that she interpreted as applause. Illumination approached, its eyes shimmering with what might have been tears. Captain Zara Chen, you have completed the trial of harmony with a grace rarely seen, even among our own people. You have earned the right to proceed to the next trial. Zara nodded, trying to catch her breath. Thank you. I have to admit, that was unlike anything I've ever experienced. I felt connected to something vast and ancient. You touched the very essence of Luminaria, Illumination explained. The resonance labyrinth is a physical manifestation of the energies that flow through our world. Your ability to navigate it speaks volumes about your potential. As the excitement of her success faded, Zara's mind returned to more pressing matters. I appreciate the significance of these trials, but I can't help feeling that time is of the essence. My ship, my crew, we need to find a way to repair our vessel and contact Earth. They'll be wondering what happened to us. Illumination's expression grew serious. I understand your concern, Captain, but you must understand, the astral courtship is not merely a set of trials. It is a process that will determine the future of both our peoples. The energies unleashed by your arrival have set in motion events that cannot be undone. Zorax stepped forward, its massive form casting a shadow over Zara. The off-worlder speaks truth, Elevoran. We cannot ignore the practical implications of this situation. Perhaps a compromise can be reached. Zara raised an eyebrow, surprised by the blue giant's sudden reasonableness. What kind of compromise? You will continue with the trials, Zorax rumbled, but we will allocate resources to assess the damage to your vessel. If it can be repaired, we will assist, under supervision of course. In return, you will share with us your knowledge of the stars beyond our realm. Elevoran's eyes widened. Great Zorax, is this wise? The ancient laws. The ancient laws speak of change brought by the sky-fallen one. Zorax interrupted. We must adapt, or we risk stagnation. Captain Zara Chen has proven herself capable in the first trial. Let us see if she can bridge the gap between our worlds in more ways than one. Zara considered the offer. It wasn't ideal, but it was progress. I accept your terms, Zorax, but I want to see my crew as soon as possible, and I need regular updates on the status of our ship. The blue giant inclined its head in agreement. It shall be done. Elevoran will take you to the healing groves once you have rested. The second trial begins at moonrise. As the Luminarians dispersed, Elevoran guided Zara to a small, organic-looking structure that seemed to have grown from the surrounding flora. These will be your quarters during the astral courtship. Rest, Captain. The challenges ahead will test more than just your physical abilities. Left alone, Zara sank onto a bed that seemed to be made of living plants, conforming perfectly to her body. She stared up at the alien sky, visible through a transparent ceiling, and let out a long breath. First contact, accidental ritual participation, and now I'm some kind of cosmic diplomat, she muttered to herself. The Academy definitely didn't prepare me for this. As she drifted off to sleep, lulled by the gentle pulsing of the luminous seed, Zara's mind raced with possibilities. She had taken the first step in bridging two vastly different cultures. Now, she just had to figure out how to navigate alien politics, complete mystical trials, repair an advanced spaceship, and prevent an interstellar incident, all while trying to understand her growing connection to this strange, beautiful world. The fate of Earth's first deep space mission, and perhaps the future of human-alien relations, rested on her shoulders. As challenging as it seemed, Captain Zara Chen allowed herself a small smile. After all, this was the kind of adventure she had always dreamed of when she looked up at the stars. Little did she know, the true challenges and wonders of Luminaria were only beginning to reveal themselves. The twin moons of Luminaria cast an ethereal glow over the healing groves, their light filtered through the canopy of bioluminescent trees. Captain Zara Chen walked alongside Elevoran, her eyes darting from one marvel to another. The very air seemed alive with tiny motes of light that danced and swirled with each breath. Your crew recuperates well, Elevoran said, gesturing to a cluster of organic pods nestled among the roots of a massive tree. The essence of Luminaria flows through them, mending their bodies and minds. Zara approached one of the pods, its translucent surface allowing her to see the peaceful face of her chief engineer, Dr. Reeves. How long until they're fully recovered? A few more cycles of the moons, Elevoran replied, but time flows differently here in the groves. What feels like days to them may be but moments in the outside world. A commotion at the edge of the clearing drew their attention. A group of Luminarians approached, led by a figure Zara hadn't seen before. Tall and lithe, with skin that shimmered like the night sky, the newcomer radiated an aura of authority. Ah, Elevoran's voice held a note of concern. The Void Seer approaches. The Void Seer fixed Zara with a gaze that seemed to pierce through her very being. So this is the sky-fallen one who dares to participate in the astral courtship. Its voice was like the whisper of solar winds. I am Nixara, keeper of the ancient prophecies. Zara straightened, meeting the alien's intense stare. Captain Zara Chen of Earth. I'm honored to meet you, Void Seer Nixara. Nixara circled Zara slowly, tendrils of darkness trailing in its wake. The stars speak of your coming, Zara Chen, but they whisper of chaos and change. The path you walk is fraught with danger, for you, for Luminaria, and for the cosmic balance itself. With all due respect, Zara said, her voice firm, I didn't choose this path. I'm doing my best to navigate a situation I don't fully understand, while trying to ensure the safety of my crew and respect your customs. The Void Seer's eyes narrowed. Intent matters not in the grand tapestry of fate. Your very presence here has set in motion events that cannot be undone. The question remains, will you be the bridge between worlds, or the harbinger of their destruction? Before Zara could respond, another voice boomed across the clearing. Enough with your cryptic warnings, Nixara. Zorax strode into view, his crystalline armor glinting in the moonlight. The off-worlder has proven herself capable thus far. Let her actions speak, not your dire prophecies. Tension crackled in the air as the two powerful luminarians faced off. Zara glanced at Illumination, who looked decidedly uncomfortable. The factions of Luminaria have long been at odds, Illumination explained in a hushed tone. Zorax leads the crystalline vanguard, who believe in progress and expanding our influence among the stars. Nixara and the Void Seers advocate for isolation, fearing that contact with other races will lead to our downfall. Zara's mind raced, recognizing the delicate political situation she had stumbled into. She stepped forward, placing herself between Zorax and Nixara. Your concerns are valid, Void Seer. The unknown can be frightening, but it can also be a source of growth and wonder. My people have a saying, the only way to make a friend is to be one. I'm here, representing humanity, offering friendship and the exchange of knowledge. Nixara's expression remained impassive, but something flickered in its starry eyes. Pretty words, Skyfallen One, but will they hold true when faced with the trials that lie ahead? The second challenge awaits, and it will test more than your physical prowess. It will peer into the very essence of your being. With a gesture, Nixara opened a portal in the air, a swirling vortex of cosmic energy. Enter, Zara Chen. Face the trial of illumination. Let us see what truths the void reveals about you and your kind. Zara took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. She turned to Illumination. Keep an eye on my crew. Whatever happens in there, their safety comes first. Illumination nodded solemnly. May the light of Luminaria guide you, Captain. With a final look at her peacefully recuperating crew, Zara stepped into the portal. The world around her dissolved into a sea of stars, and she felt herself falling through the very fabric of space-time. Suddenly, she was elsewhere, everywhere, experiencing a multitude of realities simultaneously. She saw Earth from afar, a beautiful blue marble suspended in the void. She witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations across countless worlds. She felt the birth of stars and the cold emptiness of dying galaxies. Through it all, a voice echoed in her mind, her own voice, yet not. Who are you, Zara Chen? What drives you? What fears hold you back? What dreams propel you forward? Images flashed before her eyes, her childhood gazing up at the stars, the grueling years of training to become an astronaut, the mixture of terror and exhilaration during her first spacewalk. She saw her proudest moments and her deepest regrets, all laid bare in the cosmic tapestry. I am an explorer, Zara thought, her consciousness expanding to fill the vastness around her. I seek knowledge, understanding, and connection. I fear failure, not for myself, but for those who depend on me. I dream of a future where the peoples of different worlds can learn from each other, grow together. The visions shifted, showing her glimpses of possible futures. In one, Earth and Luminaria were allies, sharing technology and culture, advancing together into the cosmos. In another, mistrust and fear led to conflict, the destruction of both worlds sending ripples of chaos across the galaxy. The choice is yours, the voice said, now a chorus of all those she had ever known. Bridge or harbinger? creator or destroyer. In this moment, you shape not only your destiny but the fate of worlds. Zara felt the weight of this responsibility, but also the strength of her convictions. She thought of her crew, of the wonders she had seen on Luminaria, of the potential for understanding between their peoples. "I choose hope," she declared to the cosmos. "I choose connection. I choose a future where differences are celebrated, not feared. Whatever challenges lie ahead, I will face them with an open mind and an open heart." The swirling visions coalesced into a single point of light. Zara reached out, both physically and mentally, and grasped it. Energy surged through her, filling her with a sense of purpose and clarity she had never known before. With a flash, she found herself back in the healing groves. Nyxara, Zorax, and Elevoran stood before her, their expressions a mixture of awe and apprehension. "Impossible," Nyxara whispered. "You've touched the cosmic confluence. No off-worlder has ever." Zorax stepped forward, his voice gruff but tinged with respect. "You continue to surprise us, Captain Zara Chen. Perhaps there is more to you and your people than we initially believed." Elevoran simply smiled, a knowing look in its multifaceted eyes. "The trial of illumination has revealed your true nature, Skyfallen One, but the path ahead remains challenging. Are you prepared for what comes next?" Zara stood tall, the energy of her cosmic experience still thrumming through her. The luminous seed in her hand pulsed in sync with her heartbeat, feeling more like a part of her than ever before. "I'm ready," she said, her voice ringing with newfound confidence. "Whatever Luminaria has in store, whatever obstacles we face, I believe we can overcome them together. Not just as humans and Luminarians, but as fellow travelers in this vast, beautiful universe." As the first light of dawn began to paint the alien sky, Captain Zara Chen realized that her journey, and the true test of her abilities, was only beginning. The fate of two worlds hung in the balance, and the stars themselves watched with bated breath to see what would unfold. The days that followed Zara's trial of illumination were a whirlwind of activity. As her crew slowly awakened from their heaving slumber, she found herself juggling her duties as their captain with her new role as Earth's impromptu ambassador to Luminaria. Dr. Rees was the first to fully recover, his scientific curiosity immediately piqued by their alien surroundings. "Captain," he said, eyes wide with wonder as he examined a pulsating crystal formation, "the technological implications of what we're seeing here are staggering. The way they've integrated organic and inorganic materials, the energy manipulation, it's centuries beyond anything we have on Earth." Zara nodded, a wry smile on her face. "And we've only scratched the surface, Doctor. But remember, we're not just here to study them. We need to find a way to repair the stellar horizon and establish communication with Earth." As if on cue, Elevoran approached, accompanied by a group of luminarians whose skin seemed to shimmer with complex, circuit-like patterns. "Captain Chen, these are our finest techno-symbionts. They have examined your vessel and believe they can assist in its repair." One of the techno-symbionts stepped forward, its voice a harmonious blend of organic tones and synthetic undertones. "Your ship's technology is primitive by our standards, but fascinating in its own right. We've never encountered a vessel that relies so heavily on purely mechanical systems." Dr. Rees bristled slightly at the word primitive, but Zara placed a calming hand on his shoulder. "We appreciate your help," she said diplomatically. "Perhaps we can learn from each other during the repair process." The next few days saw a flurry of activity around the crash site of the stellar horizon. Luminarian techno-symbionts worked alongside Earth's engineers, their vastly different approaches to technology leading to both frustration and breakthrough moments of understanding. Zara split her time between overseeing the repairs, continuing her training for the upcoming trials, and navigating the complex political landscape of Luminaria. She found an unlikely ally in Zorax, whose gruff exterior belied a genuine curiosity about Earth and its people. "Your adaptability is impressive," Zorax admitted during one of their discussions. Many among my people feared that contact with off-worlders would lead to conflict, but you've shown a remarkable ability to bridge our differences." Zara smiled, remembering her vision during the trial of illumination. "That's the beauty of diversity, Zorax. When different cultures come together, we have the opportunity to grow in ways we never imagined." However, not all of Luminaria's factions were as open to change. Nyxara and the Voidseers continued to watch Zara and her crew with suspicion, their whispered prophecies of doom creating an undercurrent of tension throughout the alien society. One evening, as Zara was practicing the intricate energy manipulation techniques Ilavoran had been teaching her, she felt a sudden shift in the air. The luminous seed in her hand pulsed with an urgent rhythm, and she instinctively raised a shield of energy just as a bolt of darkness streaked past her. Impressive reflexes, Sky-Fallen One, came a silky voice from the shadows. A figure emerged, tall, lithe, with skin that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "I am Umbra, disciple of the Void Seers. I've come to test your worth myself." Zara's mind raced, recalling Ilavoran's lessons on Luminarian combat techniques. She knew she couldn't match the aliens' raw power, but perhaps she could outsmart them. "I don't want to fight you, Umbra. I'm here as a friend, not an enemy." Umbra laughed, a sound like shattering glass. "Noble words, but can you back them up with action? Show me the power that allowed you to touch the cosmic confluence." The alien attacked with a flurry of shadow tendrils, each strike precise and lethal. Zara dodged and weaved, using the luminous seed to create brief flashes of light that disoriented her opponent. She remembered the feeling of connection she'd experienced during the trial of illumination and reached out with her mind, trying to sense the energy flows around her. To her surprise, she felt not just Umbra's aggressive energy, but the life force of Luminaria itself pulsing beneath her feet. Acting on instinct, Zara channeled this energy, creating a dazzling display of light and color that encircled both her and her attacker. Umbra faltered, momentarily awestruck by the beauty of the display. In that moment of distraction, Zara closed the distance between them, placing her hand on the alien's chest. Instead of attacking, she opened her mind, sharing the vision of harmony and mutual growth she'd seen during her trial. The fight drained out of Umbra, replaced by a look of wonder and confusion. How did you do that? I've never felt anything like it." Zara lowered her hand, the light show fading around them. "I simply shared what I've learned since coming here. The potential for understanding, for growth. We don't have to be enemies, Umbra. There's so much we could learn from each other." A slow clap echoed through the clearing. Nyxara emerged from the shadows, its starry eyes unreadable. "Well played, Zara Chen. You've passed another test, though not one of our traditional trials. Your ability to turn an enemy into a potential ally is noteworthy." Zara stood her ground, meeting the Void Seer's gaze. "I meant what I said, Nyxara. I'm not here to disrupt your way of life or to impose Earth's will on Luminaria. I'm here to build bridges, to foster understanding. Isn't that worth the risk of change?" Nyxara was silent for a long moment, the cosmos swirling in its eyes. Finally, it spoke. Perhaps we have been too hasty in our judgment. Your actions give me much to meditate on, Sky-Fallen One. But be warned, the final trial approaches, and it will test you in ways you cannot imagine." As Nyxara and Umbra departed, Zara let out a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. She looked down at the luminous seed, which had grown warmer in her hand. Somehow, she knew that her connection to this alien world had deepened, irrevocably changing her in the process. Back at the crash site, she found Dr. Rees excitedly explaining the principles of nuclear fusion to a group of fascinated techno-symbionts. Despite the challenges that lay ahead, Zara couldn't help but smile. This was what she had always dreamed of, the exchange of knowledge and culture across the stars. As the alien sun set, painting the sky in colors no human had ever seen before, Captain Zara Chen looked up at the unfamiliar constellations. Whatever the final trial might bring, she was ready to face it, not just for herself or her crew, but for the future of human-alien relations and the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. Little did she know, forces beyond Luminaria were stirring, and the true test of her newfound abilities was about to begin. The air on Luminaria crackled with an unnatural energy, setting Zora's nerves on edge. She stood atop a crystalline spire, overlooking the vast, alien landscape that had become both her challenge and her responsibility. The luminous seed pulsed urgently in her hand, its rhythm matching the growing sense of unease in her gut. "Something's coming," she murmured, her eyes scanning the horizon. As if in response to her words, the sky above began to churn. Swirling vortexes of dark energy tore open the fabric of space, and through these cosmic wombs poured creatures of nightmare, writhing masses of tentacles and teeth, their very presence seeming to corrupt the air around them. Illumination appeared beside her, its usual calm demeanor replaced by barely contained panic. "The Void Devorers," it gasped. "They found us. But how? Our world has been hidden for millennia." Zora's mind raced, connecting the dots. The anomaly that brought us here, could it have created a path for them as well? Before Illumination could respond, Zorax's booming voice echoed across the crystalline city. "To arms, people of Luminaria. The ancient enemy has returned." The city erupted into chaos. Luminarians of all factions scrambled to defensive positions, their bioluminescent patterns flaring with a mixture of fear and determination. Zara watched in awe as massive energy cannons grew from the living architecture, powered by the very life force of the planet. "Captain," Dr. Rees called out, rushing towards her with a group of human crew members and techno-symbionts in tow. "We've managed to get the Stellar Horizon's main systems back online. What are your orders?" Zara's training kicked in, pushing aside her amazement at the alien threat. "Get the ship ready for emergency evacuation, but hold position for now. We're not abandoning these people." She turned to Illumination, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "How can we help? We may not have your advanced technology, but Earth has faced its share of threats. We know a thing or two about fighting against the odds." Nixara materialized from the shadows, its cosmic eyes wide with a mixture of fear and grudging respect. "The Sky-Fallen One speaks truth. The prophecies foretold this moment, the merging of two worlds to face a common enemy. Your trial, Zara Chen, is no longer just a test of worthiness. It is a fight for the very survival of Luminaria, and perhaps your Earth as well." The gravity of the situation hit Zara like a physical blow. This wasn't just about proving herself anymore. The fate of two worlds, and possibly the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. "All right," she said, her voice ringing with authority. "Let's pool our resources. Dr. Reeves, work with the techno-symbionts to integrate our ship's weapon systems with Luminaria's defenses. Illumination, we need a crash course in fighting these void devorers. Nixara, can your void seers predict their movements, give us a tactical advantage?" As the diverse group rushed to follow her orders, Zara felt a surge of pride. Humans and Luminarians, working side by side in the face of an overwhelming threat. This was the potential she had seen in her vision, realized in the crucible of crisis. The first wave of void devourers crashed against Luminaria's defenses. Energy beams lanced out from the crystal spires, disintegrating some of the eldritch horrors. But for every one that fell, two more seemed to take its place. Zara found herself in the thick of the battle, the luminous seed amplifying her newfound abilities. She wove shields of light to protect fleeing civilians, and channeled bursts of energy to drive back the encroaching darkness. At her side fought Umbra, the former antagonist now a staunch ally, their contrasting powers complementing each other in perfect harmony. From the command center of the Stellar Horizon, Dr. Rees coordinated with the techno-symbionts, jury-reading the ship's fusion drives to power Luminaria's most potent weapons. The resulting blasts carved swaths through the Void Devourer's ranks, but the horde seemed endless. "We can't keep this up forever." Zorax bellowed, his crystalline armor cracked and smoking from close combat with the cosmic horrors. We need to find a way to close those portals. Zara's mind raced, recalling everything she had learned about Luminaria's energy systems and her own experiences with the cosmic forces at play. An idea began to form, dangerous, possibly suicidal, but potentially their only hope. The cosmic confluence, she said, her eyes lighting up with realization. If we can channel enough energy through it, we might be able to create a resonance cascade that seals the rifts. Nyxara's eyes widened. Impossible. The amount of power required would drain Luminaria's core, Elavorn finished, its voice heavy with understanding. It would save us from the void devorers, but at the cost of our world's very life force. A heavy silence fell over the group, broken only by the sounds of battle raging around them. Zara looked from face to face, human and Luminarian alike, seeing the weight of an impossible choice in their eyes. There has to be another way, she insisted, her grip tightening on the luminous seed. What if we combined our energy sources? The stellar horizon's fusion drive, Luminaria's core, and she hesitated, then plunged ahead, and my connection to the cosmic confluence, a bridge between our worlds, just like in my vision. Zorax let out a rumbling laugh despite the dire situation. You continue to surprise us, Skyfallen One. It's a mad plan, but it just might work. As the defenders of Luminaria rally for one final desperate stand, Zara felt the weight of two worlds on her shoulders. The coming moments would determine not just her fate, but the future of human-alien relations and the balance of cosmic forces beyond imagination. With a deep breath, she stepped forward, the luminous seed blazing with power in her hand. Let's finish this trial, she said, her voice carrying across the battlefield. Together. The final battle for Luminaria, and the ultimate test of Captain Zara Chen's ability to bridge worlds, was about to begin. Triumph of unity. The skies of Luminaria roiled with cosmic energy as Captain Zara Chen stood at the heart of the Crystal City. Around her, an unlikely alliance had formed, humans and Luminarians of all factions, united against the void devorers that threatened to consume their worlds. Everyone in position. Zara's voice carried across the makeshift command center, a fusion of Earth technology and Luminarian biotechnology. Dr. Rees gave a thumbs up from the Stellar Horizons control panel, now integrated into Luminaria's defense grid. Fusion drive primed and ready, Captain. We're routing all power through the alien crystals as planned. Zorax, his crystalline armor gleaming despite the battle damage, nodded grimly. The crystalline vanguard stands ready. We will channel the energy of Luminaria's core through our bodies if we must. Nyxara and Umbra, representatives of the once skeptical Void Seers, stepped forward. We will use our connection to the cosmic void to guide your energies, Skyfallen One, Nyxara intoned, its starry eyes fixed on the swirling portals above. Elavorn placed a hand on Zara's shoulder, its touch conveying both support and trepidation. The fate of two worlds rests in your hands, Zara Chen. Are you ready for this final trial? Zara took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. The luminous seed pulsed in her hand, its energy intertwining with her own. Ready as I'll ever be. Let's make history. With a nod to Dr. Rees, the process began. The Stellar Horizons fusion drive rolled to life, its energy flowing through crystalline conduits into the heart of Luminaria. The planet itself seemed to tremble as its core energy was tapped, flowing up through the crystalline vanguard, who stood like living lightning rods. Zara raised the luminous seed high, feeling the convergence of energies around her. The seed blazed with light, lifting her off the ground as she became a conduit for forces beyond human comprehension. Now, Nyxara, she called out, her voice echoing with otherworldly resonance. The Void Seers began their ethereal chant, dark tendrils of cosmic energy weaving through the brilliant light. Zara felt herself stretched across dimensions, her consciousness expanding to encompass the space between worlds. She saw the void devorers for what they truly were, not just monsters, but cosmic parasites born from the imbalance between creation and destruction. With this understanding came power and purpose. Everyone, focus your thoughts, Zara commanded, her voice ringing across physical and psychic planes. Picture the future we're fighting for, a future of unity, of shared knowledge and growth. The combined will of humans and luminarians surged through Zara, amplified by the cosmic energies she channeled. Beams of pure creation lanced out from the luminous seed, striking each of the dark portals. Reality itself seemed to warp and bend. The void devorers shrieked in frequencies that shattered crystal and sent tremors through the planet's crust. For a moment that stretched into eternity, the fate of two worlds hung in the balance. Then, with a sound like the birth of a universe, the portals began to close. The void devourers were driven back, their connection to Luminaria's realm severed by the combined power of two species united in purpose. As the last portal winked out of existence, a shockwave of energy rippled across Luminaria. Zara felt the luminous seed pulse one final time before it dissolved into motes of light that spread through her body. She floated gently back to the ground, supported by Elavoran and Dr. Reeves. Around them, humans and luminarians alike cheered, the joy of victory overtaking the exhaustion of battle. "You did it, Captain," Dr. Reeves said, his voice filled with awe. "You actually did it." Zara shook her head, smiling despite her fatigue. "We did it, Doctor. All of us together." Zorax approached, his usual gruff demeanor softened by respect. "The crystalline vanguard owes you a debt, Zara Chen. You have proven yourself a true leader, worthy of the astral courtship and more." Nixara nodded solemnly. "The prophecies spoke true, though not in the way we expected. You have ushered in a new age for Luminaria, Skyfallen One." As the gravity of their achievements settled in, Elavoran turned to Zara with a mix of joy and sadness in its multifaceted eyes. "What now, Captain? Will you return to your Earth now that the stellar horizon is repaired?" Zara looked around at the faces of those she had fought beside, human and luminarian alike. She thought of the wonders she had experienced, the knowledge yet to be shared, the bridges yet to be built between their worlds. "I think," she said slowly, a smile spreading across her face, "that Earth might benefit from an ambassador to Luminaria. After all, we have a lot to learn from each other." The decision sent a ripple of excitement through the gathered crowd. Humans and luminarians alike realized that this was not an end, but a beginning, the dawn of a new era of interstellar cooperation and discovery. In the days that followed, preparations were made. The stellar horizon would return to Earth, carrying news of first contact and the incredible events that had transpired. But it would not go alone. A delegation of luminarians, led by Elavoran, would accompany the human crew, ready to extend the hand of friendship to a new world. Zara, along with a small team of volunteers, would remain on Luminaria. They would serve as a bridge between worlds, facilitating the exchange of knowledge, culture, and technology. The astral courtship, once a ritual of choosing a leader, had become a symbol of union between species. As she watched the stellar horizon depart, carrying the hopes of two civilizations, Zara felt the energy of Luminaria thrumming through her. The luminous seed had become a part of her, a constant reminder of the incredible journey that had led her to this moment. "You know," she said to Elavoran, who stood beside her, "when I joined the Deep Space Program, I dreamed of making first contact, but I never imagined anything like this." Elavoran's bioluminescent patterns shimmered with amusement. The universe, it seems, has a way of exceeding even our wildest expectations. As the ship disappeared into the swirling colors of Luminaria's sky, Zara turned to face the alien city that was now her home. Challenges lay ahead, cultural differences to navigate, technologies to integrate, and undoubtedly new threats to face. But for the first time in her life, she felt truly part of something greater than herself. Captain Zara Chen, accidental winner of an alien mating ritual, had become a cosmic ambassador, a bridge between worlds. And as she looked out at the horizon, where crystal spires met an impossibly beautiful alien sky, she knew that the greatest adventure of her life, of human history, was just beginning. The stars themselves seemed to twinkle with anticipation, eager to see what this newfound alliance would bring to the cosmic stage. For in the vast expanse of the universe, it is not the strongest who survive, but those most adaptable to change. And in their unity, humanity and Luminaria had proven themselves ready for whatever wonders or challenges the cosmos had in store.